The better.
A feeling which she shares. I hardly need tell you that. She's very outspoken about it.
Monica's outspoken about everything. You're a little late going to the office today, aren't you?
Yes, I am indeed, and for a very infuriating reason. I tossed and turned all night long.
You got problems?
A problem, Alan. Singular. In a word, your mother.
Again, huh? You know, you really must try and be a bit more understanding of my mother.
Understanding? I have danced attendance upon that woman. I've gone out of my way to be a model of kindness.
I'd really like to see that sometime.
Well, how can anybody see it when she keeps getting these confounded ideas into her head and doesn't tell me anything about it? I'm telling you, yesterday was absolutely impossible. I don't know how I can take any more of it.
What happened yesterday?
It was a disaster, Alan. There's no other word for it, a disaster. I had this golden opportunity, golden, and I lost it, thanks to your mother.
I'm sorry, but I've lost you.
Oh, no, I'm the one who's lost, Alan, not you. I mean it. Yesterday was the last straw. And I'm telling you, something must be done about your mother.
I really have to get to the hospital.
Oh, no, Alan, not until I tell you what your mother did.
All right, what did she do this time?
Well, yesterday at the office, I had this opportunity to turn a rather handsome profit, but the deal had to be consummated by 4 o'clock in the afternoon. So, I called the bank in order to put through a check for $99,000 in order to get in on the deal.
Well, naturally.
Well, would you believe me that the bank told me that your mother had already told them that any check for $10,000 or more had to be countersigned by her? I think the woman's taken leave of her senses. Countersigned indeed. My word, it takes her 6 months to get her Christmas cards addressed.
Listen, why didn't you go straight to her and ask her to countersign the check?
Well, I did. Well, I ran all over town all day long. By the time I located her, why, she refused to sign it until she checked with that moron of a New York lawyer of hers.
And he advised her not to sign?
Oh, no. He told her to go ahead and sign it, but by that time, the 4 o'clock deadline had come and gone. So, I lost out on the deal. Now, you're a reasonable man, Alan. I'm sure you'll agree with me that if your mother's going to meddle around in ELQ business affairs, why, we're ruined.
Well, I think that we're a long way from being ruined, Dad, but I think that you're just going to have to be a bit more understanding and humor Mother a bit more.
Alan, I have tried to humor your mother ever since the day we first met, but she's not the only problem. I mean, she's fixed it up with those idiots in New York that they no longer consult with me. They call her first.
She's the majority stockholder.
I don't care if she's the majority stockholder in Fort Knox. Alan, you have got to do something about her.
I've got to go to the hospital. But I do have a suggestion for you before I go.
Oh, well, good. Now, I knew I could count on you. Okay, Alan, what is it?
I think you're going to have to realize for the first time in your life that your wife matters.
Alan.
Hello. I have a patient in CICU and another due in surgery, so this is going to have to be short, but I wouldn't have missed this for the world.
I'm glad you feel that way.
Oh, I'm not being polite. Just that there are very few times where a wife is invited to lunch by her husband's mistress.
I didn't suggest lunch so that we could start calling names.
Why did you? I have to admit, I am fascinated.
I'm concerned about the future.
Really? I would have thought you didn't have a care in the world.
Would you care to see a menu?
Oh, I'll just have your Caesar salad and hot tea.
Fine.
That's fine. I'll have to say.
Thank you.
Ah, that's what Alan must adore about you. You have a mind of your own.
Monica, there's really no need to snipe at me.
Oh, really? But dear heart, I thoroughly enjoy it. It's fun. I just can't wait till I get my second wind.
All right, why don't I just get right to the point then? Why are you ruining all of our lives by clinging to Alan?
Clinging to Alan? Oh, my Lord, what a revolting thought. Oh, dear, simple Susan, I am not only not clinging to Alan, I have told him in no uncertain terms to get a divorce.
And you know he's not going to do that because he might lose Alan Jr.
Among other things.
What does that mean, among other things?
My dear, in a divorce, Alan could not only lose his child, he could also lose a lot of Quartermain money. You do know the Quartermains have money, don't you? Oh, of course you know that, otherwise you wouldn't have had his child.
That's not true.
Well, this is, and I advise you to believe it. You see, the Quartermains have a very quaint notion about money, Susan. They like to keep it in the family. So in a divorce, Alan could lose his child, which I swear he will. Also, cash. A lot of cash. Now, I'm sure you'd hate that.
You know, Monica, for the life of me, I don't understand why you're so bitter.
You don't?
No.
Oh, the fact that my husband happens to be living openly with his mistress and their illegitimate child, you ask why I'm bitter?
But you don't even want Alan.
That's another thing you should believe, and I mean it. Don't you ever, I mean ever, presume to tell me what I want or what I don't want.
I'm not presuming anything. I am just trying to understand.
Well, then stop trying, because you never will, I promise you that. To put it bluntly, my dear, we Quartermains are beyond your simple grasp.
You weren't always a Quartermain.
But I am now, and I can play the game as well as the best of them.
That's it, isn't it? This is all just a game to you.
Of course it is. It's a delightful game. We play rough, we play dirty, and the stakes are always high. You can trust me on that. Oh, I see. Lunch is here. That's nice. Oh, one more thing.
What?
When you tell Alan about our little tete-a-tete, and I'm sure you will, frankly, I could care less, but if he does ask, would you tell him that the next move is his? Strictly his. Tell me, do you like Caesar salad? Or do you know? Alan! Well, you'll never guess who I had lunch with today.
I couldn't care less who you had lunch with.
Susan Moore.
What did you say?
I said I had luncheon with the pretender to my throne. Darling Susan. Lord, she's dull, Alan. I don't know how you stand it.
Monica, I warned you. I want you to leave Susan alone. Stay away.
And I want you to take your hand off me. That's better.
How dare you go and see Susan?
Well, I dared because she called me up and invited me to lunch.
I don't believe you.
Well, then tonight, when you get home to your sweet little geranium-covered cottage, why don't you ask her?
What did she want?
Ask her that, too.
I'm asking you.
All right, I'll tell you. She wanted to know why you're not suing me for divorce, Alan. Quite frankly, I think she has a point. What is holding you back?
I don't want to discuss it.
I didn't want to discuss it either. But you see, dear, sweet, simple-minded Susan did. Of course, I couldn't tell her exactly why I thought you were dragging your feet. I mean, that would have been rude.
Well, I'll play your silly game, Monica. Why do you think I'm dragging my feet?
Well, could it possibly be the fact that you're finding little Miss Muffet a bloody bore, Alan? Has domestic bliss begun to pall on your relationship? Is that why you won't divorce me? Oh, thank you.
For what?
For lunch. Susan picked up the check.
Alan!
Hi.
I didn't expect you home for hours, and Alice just left.
Yes, I'm aware that I have eyes.
What's the matter? You seem upset.
Upset? That's hardly the word for it, Susan. I'm furious. Come over here and sit down. I want an explanation.
An explanation for what?
Oh, please, don't play innocent games with me now. That'll be the last straw. Sit down. Why did you go and have lunch with Monica?
She told you.
Please, just answer my question. What in God's name possessed you to invite that woman to lunch?
Well, all right, since it upset you so much, I'll tell you why. I was trying to help.
Help? Help what? I have no idea what you're talking about.
Well, I'm trying to tell you if you give me a chance. I thought that I could convince Monica to start divorce proceedings against you.
You are playing straight into her hands. You know that, don't you?
No, I don't know that, Alan. Obviously, you're not going to file for divorce, so I thought just maybe she would.
Did it ever occur to you that I may have very good reasons for not starting divorce proceedings?
Did you admit you're not going to do it?
I'm not admitting anything. I'm going to do it, but I'm going to do it in my own time. And what I want from you is I want you to stop interrogating me, and I want you to stop trying to anticipate what my motives are, all right?
Alan, I'm not doing any of those things. Do you know how I feel?
Of course I know how you feel.
Well, I don't know how you feel, because you never tell me, Alan. And if you want to know the truth, you don't know how I feel. You couldn't.
Oh, don't be ridiculous. Of course I know how you feel, and you know how I feel. Well, I mean, what am I doing here? I moved out of my own home to come and live here.
You hate it here, don't you? Go on, admit it. You hate living here.
Oh, God, this is ridiculous.
It's not ridiculous. I try so hard to please you. I do everything I can think of to make it nice for you here. I cook all the foods I think you like. You come home from work, I make your drink just the way you want it. For what? You don't even notice, Alan.
Of course I notice, but you have got to understand one thing, okay? I love you, and God knows I am going to marry you one day. Oh, will you stop crying? I'm trying to talk to you. You also have to understand that I am going to deal with Monica in my way, and you have got to agree to that.
Alan, I don't even know what you want me to agree to.
I want you to agree to forget about Monica. I don't want you to see her. I don't want you to talk to her. I don't even want you to think about her.
How can I not think about her? She's your wife.
For the time being, I'm going to divorce her, but I'm going to do it my own time. You have got to realize that I am dealing with Monica. The woman is brilliant. She is clever, and she is devious. And she knows how to play the game.
Oh, Alan,
I'm going to play the game better than she does. I'm going to win the game. I'm going to anticipate every single move she makes. I will fathom out exactly what's in her mind. And in the end, I will totally outwit her.
Strange.
I don't understand what is so strange. I mean, I have a very healthy opponent, a very good adversary. And the most important thing when the stakes are as high as they are right now is to know who the enemy is.
I'll tell you what's strange, Alan, is that when you talk about your situation, both you and Monica sound exactly alike. And that frightens me. It really does.
I love you, Susan. I really do. And that's all you need to know.